Hello everyone, it's DiegoDoom here, and today I'm bringing you another review. Today I'll be reviewing the transformation of Aussenseiter from the Soul Chogokin GX-46 Dygenguar and Aussenseiter set. Okay, so now let's transform Aussenseiter. So I'll be doing this video step by step, so definitely follow along because this transformation can be a long and complicated process. So let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so step one. First and foremost, we have to remove Aussenseiter's disc on his shoulder and remove his head and then replace it. So what we're going to go ahead and do are pull the discs off here, and they come off fairly easy here. Then we're going to go ahead and remove the head. So just remove the head here. Somewhat easy, it is kind of tight. So remove the head there, and we're actually going to be removing this piece here. So this piece comes out. This is actually what kind of fits his head in. So remove this piece out there. And next we'll move on to the next step. Let's go ahead and replace the head before we do that though. So, got that going right there. So now this is the first step completed in the transformation here. So, what we did, we just removed the head and removed this chest piece here, which is here. So, that concludes step one. Let's go ahead and move on to step two. Okay, so now for step two, we'll be folding Aussenseiter's arms into his shoulders. And to accomplish this, we'll just push down on the top of the shoulders here, and it gives an extra extension of the shoulder movement there. And all you have to do is fold up Aussenseiter's arms, because he does have that nice double jointed elbow bend, so fold that up as much as you possibly can. And then in the shoulders here, or pretty much in the armpit area here, this latch here actually pulls open. So it actually pulls open just a little bit, as you can see there, and gives you extra space to actually fold Aussenseiter's arms into the shoulders. So we're just going to fold that in as best we possibly can. Something popped off on the back. We'll get into that a little bit later. So you just fold that up in there. So just like so, we'll do that on the other side here. So fold the arm up as best you can. That's why it's nice and double jointed there. Pull this piece out in the armpit there and fold it all the way in. So there, we have Aussenseiter with his arms folded into his shoulders. Okay, so now for step three, we're going to go ahead and split Aussenseiter in half and remove his center section. So to do that, you'll grab each arm and pull to the left and to the right, which actually splits this down the middle here. Do be careful and do be fragile. Next in the back, you'll actually pull this piece out here. So you're going to pull this out and fold it down, just like so. Just fold that down as far as it can go. Then grab the center section here and remove this. Okay, for steps 5, 6, and 7, we'll be connecting Aussenseiter's lower torso to his upper torso. Now first, to do this, we'll need our supplemental transformation piece, and this is the piece here. This connects everything all together for Aussenseiter's transformation. For this particular part, we'll be focused on the bottom of the supplemental transformation piece. This here is where the legs of Aussenseiter will actually peg in, or excuse me, the feet with the wheels will actually peg in. So let's begin. Now first and foremost, we're going to open up Aussenseiter so we have more room to work, so we'll open this up. And also we're going to bend Aussenseiter's legs at almost 90 degrees, but not quite, so just bend the legs just a little bit. Also, we're going to fold in the toes and the wheels to almost 90 degrees, so we'll just say maybe 45 degrees. So what you're going to do is just push those both in, and they both move, but let's see, that fell. They both move in, but they can be a little bit tough and a little bit stiff, so do be careful. Try not to apply too much pressure because you don't want to break anything. So we're just folding these toes in here. It's easier if I do this while he's laying down. So we have that in. So now we have both the wheel parts of the feet here folded in pretty well, pretty even. So next we're going to go ahead and grab our supplemental transformation piece here, like so. And remember, this piece needs to be protruding forward and the peg should be pointing upward, because it's actually going to slot in here inside Aussenseiter's upper torso. So, but first we're going to go ahead and slot the feet in. There are actually triangular slots here, and they match up with the triangular slots on Aussenseiter's feet here. So this part can be a little bit finicky and a little bit tough, so we'll just go ahead and go in, just kind of bear with it and push through it, and you will get it in. So we're going to go ahead. And what I like to do is kind of overshoot it and then push these down into the slots. It seems to be a little bit easier doing it like that. So we'll just go ahead and try that. So kind of overshot it here, as you can see. We're going to push that in So overshot, push it in. And one thing I've come to learn, it's easier to do them both at the same time versus trying to do the legs individually because you'll constantly knock each of them out of place like I've done here. So just kind of slot them in as best you possibly can, and they should go in pretty well. So this slotting piece is not the most firm or secure, but it's not loose either. But at times you're not sure if it's absolutely slotted in as it should be, but just have good faith. If you just have it in there pretty much correctly, you'll be all right. So pretty cool there. So as you can see, the toes actually touch here too, so that's to let you know that you have it in pretty well. So next what we're going to do, we're going to take Aussenseiter's upper torso here, and we're going to fold these pieces forward so we can see what we're working with here. So Aussenseiter's upper torso, what we're going to do, we're going to take this piece here, the back piece, and we're going to actually push up on this. It's going to come loose and fold that out. So we took this upper piece here and pulled it out. And this is going to actually rest in this top piece here. Now, one thing to note, you may have to bend the knees a little bit more or a little bit less. It just depends. But do be careful because you can actually unslot this. So it gets really tricky here, but we'll pull through. So we're just going to go ahead and stretch this out. And this is going to actually rest on top of that piece. So let's get some focus going on and a little bit of light. So we have this going on here. So what we're going to do, we're just going to try and get this all to fit together as best we possibly can. It could be a little bit tough. You're just trying not to move the legs too much or the feet too much to pull them out of that slot. So all we're going to do, might have to bend it a little bit more up here. So we have it almost there. There we go. So now you have the shape here, and I haven't plugged it in just yet, but you can see this plugs in up here. So just kind of push that in and got it in. So now we have the basic form and the basic shape for Aussenseiter's transformation here. So it's pretty finicky and a little bit tough, but nonetheless it's still cool and it's pretty manageable to get through. So that's honestly the toughest part of this transformation. So I think we've gotten through pretty much the hard part. Okay, for steps 8 and 9, we're going to go ahead and set up Aussenseiter's legs. Now, first and foremost, this part of the transformation can be tough and tricky. So let's begin. Now, first and foremost, what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to take Aussenseiter's arms here, or, formally his arms. We're going to fold these forward here. So actually going to fold on this little hinge type joint here. So initially they're in this position. You're just going to fold these back this way. And we're going to kind of pull this out here about that much. So the same for the other side. We're just going to fold it and kind of fold this forward like so. So just those two pieces, just like that. Now here's where it becomes tricky and frustrating. Now this piece here actually extends, and what's so tough about it is it's very hard to pull out, and it comes off as it might be somewhat fragile. We'll go ahead and shine some light on that right there. So we're going to pull this piece out some. So first and foremost, you got to get a firm grip and make sure you're not stressing any other part of the figure too much to where you might break it or knock, say, the feet off track back here. So we're just going to go ahead and pull this out. Now it is metal, but still you can't be too rough with it. So it slots out one time, but it actually comes out even further, which makes it even harder to pull out here. So pull that out. Let's see. It's definitely very tough because it feels like you're going to break something when you're pulling these slots out, but you just honestly have to work it out. So, because as you can see, there's a small portion of a half circle here being revealed. You need to reveal more of that circle inside. So, let's see if we can pull that out. Because honestly, I cannot tell you of a better way to pull this out except pull it out as best you possibly can, because you can feel like you might break something as you pull this out. So just try and be careful. So just pull this out, and just to make sure you haven't pulled it out too far, you're not going to break it, you can always fold this part back, and there's actually a slot here that this piece is actually connect into. You can see if it lines up with this peg back here. So that's what I'm going to do right now, just to make sure I haven't pulled it out as far as it should go. And if I have, this peg is actually going to align, this peg that sticks out here is actually going to align to this hole here, which I don't think it is going to. Right, it will not. Because even though it may fit in, it should be able to stay, but it's not staying because there's actually tension built up from this not being released all the way. So what we're going to go ahead and do is just pull this out, try our best to pull it out without breaking it. There we go. So it clicks out just a little bit, as you can see. So you have more of a half circle being revealed now. So the best way to tell, make sure you have a half circle revealed down here to know if you pulled this out far enough. But do be careful because it's actually tricky and very frustrating. So next we're going to swing this part back into this slot here. Okay, so this slot is actually on the supplemental transformation piece here, as you can see right there. So we just go ahead and swing this back. And then there's a slot back here that actually fits in to this piece here, or excuse me, a peg. So push that in and it snaps into place pretty firmly. So right there. So we'll go ahead and do this for the other side. Once again, it's very tough and it's very concerning as you're pulling this out. So as you can see here, we're going to pull here. So just pull this out as best you can without stressing the figure too much. I'm just going to do this from here. The vision might be blocked, but still. So I've pulled that out once here, and as you can see, there's a quarter of the circle out. You want to reveal a half circle. So just pull that out a little bit more. And that's how it came out a little bit easier. So now we have pretty much a half circle being revealed here, and that's how you know this is extended far enough. So we'll go ahead and pull this piece back and line it up with the slot back here. So pull that back. Let me focus on that so we can see better. So this is pulled all the way. It's going to line up into this slot here. Let's pull that back, line it up. And then there's actually a peg here that's going to plug in. Oh, excuse me. That's going to, a peg here that's going to peg in to the slot there. So let's see if we can get that in there. There you go. Pretty firm and secure right there. Very cool. So now we have pretty much a very good shape and a very good outlook on how this transformation is actually going to turn out here. So this is the shape you should have so far. So definitely very nice, very neat, very cool, and we can definitely see where we're going with this. So very cool. Okay, so now let's attach Aussenseiter's legs to his newly transformed body. Now first and foremost, I'm using the supplemental display legs versus actually transforming Aussenseiter's cannons into his legs. As a whole, the supplemental display legs look a whole lot nicer than transforming the cannons into Aussenseiter's legs. So we'll not be demonstrating the transformation for the cannons. So let's begin. So first you grab your supplemental legs here. So they're definitely very nice, very neat, and very cool. And they have a slot here that actually attaches to Aussenseiter's inner thighs. So to make this available to do, we're going to go ahead and lift up this front piece here. We're going to grab Aussenseiter's thighs, just the plastic part here, and pull or push forward. It's whatever is easy for you to do. So this does take quite a bit of force to pull forward, but you can get it out. There you go. Comes out pretty hard. So you're just going to pull this plastic part of the thigh forward. Same here. Just going to pull or push. It comes right out. So now we have the thighs. They've gone forward here. Next, you're going to go ahead and grab your legs. And first and foremost, to make sure you have the proper leg on the proper side, make sure the screw holes are facing away from you. So to attach these, there's actually a peg inside of the thighs here that will actually fit in to the slot on the supplemental legs there. So as you can see, there's that peg on the inside. So we'll go ahead and grab our legs here and make sure we grab the proper one. So we'll grab our leg here and just line up the peg with the slot here. So let's see if we can line that up the first try. Let's see. Right. So once this is slotted in, it fits in very firm, very snug, and very secure, and it'll be absolutely flat and flush. So we'll grab the next leg here, push that in, and align it with the slot there. Let's see. There we go. A nice, firm, snug, and secure connection going on there. So definitely very nice, very neat, and very cool. Next, we'll grab Aussenseiter's back legs and attach those. Now, the back legs will actually peg in to Aussenseiter's former elbows back here. And these are the supplemental legs here. They're definitely very nice, very neat, and very cool here. And remember, to make sure you have the proper one on the proper side, make sure the screw holes are facing inward. So pretty cool there. So we'll start with this one here. And one thing to also note, Aussenseiter will become bow-legged if you did not properly push Aussenseiter's arms into the shoulders. I kind of encountered that earlier, so went on and fixed that issue. So make sure that pretty much the hands are not visible. They're pretty much all the way in there as far as you possibly can go. And also do be aware of scratching paint, because I think I did scratch just a tiny bit of paint on my figure. So do be aware of that, but make sure the arms are absolutely and properly folded into Aussenseiter's shoulders first. So let's go ahead and attach these legs here. So we'll grab the proper leg here, and it just fits in right in there, so it just pegs in there. And it's a little bit easier if you just do this while he's laying on his side. So we'll get that in there. Fits in pretty snug, and we'll do the other leg here, down here on the bottom. So make sure that's properly as it should be. Remember, these screw holes should be on the inside. So peg that in. Okay, so now I think we get the gist of where we're going here. So let's see if we can get everything into place here. So now I think we get the gist of what's going on here, and it's definitely going to be very nice, very neat, very cool, and absolutely epic. So let's go ahead and finish up this transformation and see what we get. Okay, so now let's go ahead and complete Aussenseiter's transformation. Now first and foremost, I'm using the bonus display pieces versus actually transforming any of Aussenseiter's pieces, because as a whole they look very nice, very neat, and very cool. So as you can see, the bonus horse head here for the display piece here looks a lot nicer than if you were to transform Aussenseiter's standard head here. Looks a whole lot better. So we have that piece, and then we have a supplemental saddle here, and then, you know, Aussenseiter's tail here. So let's go ahead and begin with the head here. So the head is actually going to slot on. We'll zoom in just a little bit. Okay. So the head's going to slot in here. Let's see if we can get that to focus on top of that. So the head is going to slot in here. So it's going to cover up this piece here. And it's a pretty easy and firm connection here. So we're just going to slot that all in there. So once that's on there, follows the track, just kind of push it in snug. But make sure you don't put any pressure on the outer body and push anything out of place. Do be careful of that. So once that's on there, it's pretty firm and pretty snug and pretty cool there. That's on there. Next, we'll grab the saddle. And the saddle is pretty cool because it actually comes with some footholds for Dygenguar. So here is the saddle here. You'll flip this over, and there are two holes here where you attach the footholds for Dygenguar, and these are the footholds here. So they're pretty cool. And these ball pegs here actually slot into the holes underneath the saddle. So let's see if we can get some light right there. So what we're going to do is go ahead and grab your foothold here and just push that right in. And for the footholds, it doesn't matter what side's which. One thing I've noticed, it's kind of hard to push the footholds in all the way. So get them in there as best you can, because these are definitely tough and they tend to hurt trying to push these in and stuff like that. So just get them in as best you can. They should stay and stuff like that. They don't have to absolutely be down inside of those holes. But we'll get that in there as best we possibly can. Let's get those in and in. So now they're in. And we'll go ahead and attach the saddle. Now the saddle kind of clicks into place. It doesn't really snap in anything with the absolute firmness, but still it is a secure connection. So we have Aussenseiter's body here. You'll grab the saddle with the upward point forward and just kind of pop that on there. So let's see if we can get that on there. Yep. And it just kind of pops into place there. So, you know, it's not a hard click. It's not the most satisfying thing, but it does feel firm, snug, and secure in its place. So we have that there. Then finally, we'll go ahead and top off everything by attaching Dygenguar's discs and his tail. So the disc, as you can see, will actually peg in here. Pretty simple and pretty easy. But we'll go ahead and attach the tail first because the discs tend to be a little bit tough to pop on. So there's actually 2 holes here to attach Aussenseiter's tail there. So you'll grab this tail, actually has a supplemental piece sticking out. So pretty cool there. Just these 2 pegs, just line them up like so. So we have those in, and next we'll just top it off with Aussenseiter's discs. And they can be a little bit tough to plug in, so I like to kind of lay them down and do it that way you don't have a chance to stress any of the joints or any other parts of the figure there. So, you know, this part's pretty much a no-brainer. So we'll just get that on there as firm as we can. And there's no real trick to putting these on because, you know, as you know, this piece is articulated and it moves quite a bit. And it could be a little bit tough getting it to line up and peg in appropriately. So that's one. We'll turn that the proper way. We'll flip Aussenseiter over. Grab the other disc. Whoops, lights out. So let's go ahead and grab that and peg it in here. So that, flip that the proper way. And now we have, see if we don't, yeah. Do be careful with that because as you can see, one of my pieces came a tad bit loose. Let's see, check the other side too while we're at it. Yeah, okay. I think we're back in good shape. Make sure the legs here, the actual leg pieces, or we'll say part of the thighs here, make sure those are folded forward so Aussenseiter doesn't get off balance. So fold that forward. And then just stabilize them here. Whoops. And we have the legs sliding back a little bit too far. So, plant his feet securely. And there we have it. So, this here is absolutely spectacular. I'm going to slide this back so we can see if we can get this in the frame because this is a very large piece. As a matter of fact, we'll just take it off our little revolving stand here. So we'll get him down. So now what we have here is Aussenseiter in his horse mode here. Now I'm not absolutely sure the technical name here for the mode, but I know it's part of the special attack or the signature attack that Dygenguar and Aussenseiter do. So it's definitely very cool. So this is a fantastic transformation here and well worth it. But it's not complete just yet. We don't have we don't have Dygenguar in just yet. So let's go ahead and throw in Dygenguar and we'll complete this transformation. Before we can throw in Dygenguar, first and foremost, we need to attach Dygenguar's very nice, very neat, very cool, and very awesome cape accessory. To do this, we'll need 5 pieces. So the first of the 5 pieces are actually the collar piece here. So you have the collar piece of Dygenguar's cape here. It's definitely cool, has a very nice sculpt, and is very cape-like there. Pretty cool. Next, you'll have the shoulder piece here. Pretty cool here. And how these 2 pieces attach first, there are 2 pegs at the end of the collar piece that are going to connect into the shoulder piece there. So we'll just go ahead and grab these and just slot them in together. And just line the holes up and the pegs, and they'll slot in pretty nicely. See if I can get that in there appropriately. Let's see. There you go. There's 1 and 2. So as you can see, this is a very nice, very neat, and very secure connection here. So pretty cool, and it's honestly pretty seamless. So that's very well done there. Pretty cool. So next, we're going to be attaching Aussenseiter's cape accessories to this cape. So it's a pretty good use of recycling parts here, so definitely cool. So we're going to need these 3 parts actually attached to the back of Aussenseiter when he's not transformed. So just these 3 parts here is pretty cool. So we're going to start from right to left here. So we can get a little bit of focus going on. We'll put that more in the light. So first, we'll grab our first cape accessory here. And let me see if I grab the proper one. because it can be a little bit confusing connecting the proper cape piece to the proper side. So we have the first cape piece here. Now how this is going to peg in, there's a peg that protrudes here. Get that focus. There's a peg here that protrudes out. It's going to slot into this cape here. Now one thing to note, to make sure you're on the proper side, there's two ways to check. First, make sure this protruding piece points to the inside. Okay, that's the first way to check. Get some focus going on there. So how this slots in, just put it on the peg, and that's pretty much it. So get that in there. Pretty firm, pretty secure. Now the second way to check to make sure your cape's on the proper side, just turn the cape sideways or turn it over, and you'll see that this is very flush. If it's on the wrong side, it will not be flush at all. So definitely cool there, and definitely a neat way to double check your pieces. So next goes the center piece here. So we'll grab the center piece of the cape. Pretty cool there, and it's going to peg into this peg right there. So just push that in right there like so. Goes in pretty smoothly. So pretty cool there. Then finally the last piece here, and once again just make sure that this protruding piece is actually pointing upward on the inside like so. Slot that in. Let's see if we can get that in there. Let's see. Get that in as snug as you possibly can. This one didn't snap in as hard as the right side one, but you know, it's fine. But there you have Dygenguar's cape. So definitely very nice, very neat, and very cool there. Pretty seamless. Now one thing to note, you see this gap here. Maybe I should have attached the centerpiece first. So we won't worry about that for right now, but you get the gist of it. So pretty cool there. Very nice cape accessory going on here. Very cool. So next, to attach this very cool cape, we're actually going to have to remove Dygenguar's head. So when removing Dygenguar's head, definitely be careful. Try not to put any pressure on any of the joints or any other parts of the body and stuff like that, because you don't want to break anything off here. It's not hard to remove or anything like that, but you know, just be careful. So we'll grab Dygenguar's head here, and we'll just kind of grab that as best we can. Pull the head off. Pretty cool there. Next, there's actually a piece inside of Dygenguar's neck that we have to remove in order to attach the cape. So we'll tip Dygenguar over here. I'm going to try and zoom in and see if we can get that piece in there. Let's see if we can shine a little bit of light. So as you can see, it's this piece back here in the collar we have to remove. So you'll just grab this as best you can and just pull up and pull out. Let's see if we can get that out. Okay. And trust me, it can be tough at times. So I think it's especially if you don't have any fingernails. And I just removed that piece and it kind of shot out. So let me show you that piece there. So this is the small piece that's in the back of Dygenguar's neck, or you want to say his shoulder area here. Just this small piece, so we just remove that out of there. So now you have this empty and open space here in Dygenguar that makes room for the cape. So pretty cool. So next we grab the cape. So how the cape is actually going to peg in, there are two hooks on the collar here, if you can see that. And they're going to peg into Dygenguar's chest, and they're going to actually hook in just above the front, I believe. So let's go ahead and connect all that. So we'll grab Dygenguar here and just hook it all in. So it hooks into the two front chest pieces here. So I'm going to remove that just to kind of show that over again and show it with more focus. So, okay. See if we can get that there at a better angle. So these two chest pieces here are where the cape is actually going to hook into. So that's where we're hooking in. So let's see if we can demonstrate that appropriately. So get that hooked in right there, and it fits in just fine. So pretty cool there. Next, we just have to reattach Dygenguar's head. So we grab Dygenguar's head here and attach, push down. And now we have Dygenguar with his very nice, very neat, very cool, and very dynamic cape, if you can see that. It's pretty standing up pretty far back. Now, one thing to note about the cape, it actually weighs Dygenguar down, so it's kind of hard to stand him with the cape protruding out so far. And also, a piece of the cape fell off, so we'll not worry about that for right now. But this cape can actually weigh Dygenguar down a little bit, but there's a remedy for that in the transformation. So this is how you attach Dygenguar's cape. So now let's go ahead and complete and bring this very neat, Very nice, very cool, and very awesome transformation together. Okay, so now let's wrap up this awesome transformation. Now first we'll need two items. We'll need the supplemental stand and Dygenguar. So first, let's check out the supplemental stand here. So this supplemental stand is definitely very nice, very neat, and very cool. It's just a flat black and a pretty basic finish, but what's cool about this stand is it helps support Aussenseiter in his rearing up pose. So it's definitely very nice, very neat, very cool, and very easy to attach. So let's go ahead and attach this to Aussenseiter here. Now how this piece actually attaches, there is actually a piece here in Aussenseiter's chest, and it's this piece here. Let's see if we can get that there. There is a hole on the other side of this piece where this stand will actually slot into. Now it's kind of hard to demonstrate, but for the most part, once you slot this in, you'll be able to feel your way to it and slot it in very snug and very securely. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to grab Aussenseiter's legs and move them out as far as possible, make room for this stand. Next, we'll grab the stand. Now, one thing to note, you might actually have to kind of force the stand in between the legs to give it space to kind of slot in there. Just be careful because you don't want to undo Aussenseiter's legs and you'll break the transformation apart. So do be careful in that respect. But it's pretty easy to slot in. You'll just grab it here. And I'm going to spread Aussenseiter's legs just a little bit and be very careful there. So we're just going to tip that back. Let's see if we can get it in this way. There's not really an easy way to get it in. Hopefully I didn't undo anything, but we'll just push that in there and get the slot in. And one thing too, it's kind of hard to get it in there all the way on the first try. It's kind of like a trial and error situation just to make sure it's in there very snug. But for the most part, we have it in. So pretty cool there. And let's see, we got that in there. Pretty cool. We'll just go ahead and bend Aussenseiter's legs just a little bit. Get that down. Get that up. I'm going to open his mouth there. Pretty cool. So, there are actually footholds on the stand here to kind of line up Aussenseiter's feet. So we'll just push that out right there. So this is what you're pretty much going to get the gist of here. This figure's a little too big to get in one frame. So we'll slide that way back there. Let's see. I'm going to move my tripod down just a little bit. And we will tilt up. So this is the gist of what we're going for here. So it's definitely very nice, very neat, and very cool. Now there are footholds on the stand, and it seems like you might actually have to separate Aussenseiter's back legs from the structure of the body to kind of give that extra range of motion to fit in on those footholds on the stand. But for the most part, this looks absolutely fantastic. So definitely very nice, very neat, and very cool. So now we're going to jump into attaching Dygenguar to Aussenseiter. Okay, so now let's attach Dygenguar. Now first and foremost, we need one accessory piece, and this is the accessory here. This piece actually supports Dygenguar's cape. Now once you get this out of the packaging, this piece is actually two separate pieces. All you have to do is just match up the flat rectangular piece here, or the rectangular side here, with the slot inside of this particular piece here. Just peg that in, it's a simple support there. So pretty cool. Now how this actually pegs into Aussenseiter, if you spin him around to the back where his tail is, there's actually a empty slot there just above his tail. Let's see if we get some focus going on. It's pretty dark back there, but if you can see that, there's actually a slot here where this is going to actually peg in. So we'll just put that in there. It may be a little bit easier to remove the tail and put the tail in after this, but I just got it in there. So you may not have to remove the tail to peg this in. So, just do be careful. But I guess for the sake of safety, just go ahead and remove the tail and then peg this piece in first, then put the tail in afterwards. That way you don't have to worry about any bumps or hiccups or particular stressing on any of the joints of the figure. So pretty cool there. So now we have that going. Next, we're going to attach Dygenguar to Aussenseiter. So let me stop this for 1 second. We'll get into a better viewing position. Okay, so now let's attach Dygenguar. Now I have Dygenguar here, and first and foremost, you need to take note of a few things. Initially, Dygenguar's legs are reset into their natural position, or their neutral position, where the hinge is actually turned all the way back. If you recall in the Dygenguar review, you can actually push this hinge forward and you'll have better range of movement for Dygenguar's legs forward and back. But for the sake of the transformation, you need to reset Dygenguar's legs back to their natural position, which is with the hinge all the way back, so he has a nice range of motion when it comes to widening his stance. So, pretty cool there. Now, Dygenguar's skirt here is actually going to slot into Aussenseiter's holes on his saddle. So they're going to slot in via this point and these two sharp points here on Dygenguar's skirt. Now, for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and drop Dygenguar into Aussenseiter's saddle. So just give me one moment. Okay, so now that we have Dygenguar attached, there's just one last finishing touch to take care of. We're going to go ahead and attach Aussenseiter's footholds to Dygenguar's feet. So it's a pretty simple process here. And what I've come to learn, it's easier to attach the footholds if you go ahead and remove the shin piece here. Now, in the instructions, it doesn't suggest you do this, but it just tends to be easier as a whole if you do it like that. So you have the footholds here that are actually attached to Aussenseiter's saddle. All you have to do is just hook the footholds into Dygenguar's feet, and pretty much it's just the space in between the foot and the heel here, so it's pretty simple. Just put that on there as best you can. It might require you to resituate Dygenguar, so I think I have that right there, so pretty cool. And just go ahead and reattach the shin piece here. So the shin piece goes this way. See? And that's about it. So, I'm going to do that for the other side, but this is pretty much it. So, let's go ahead and take a step back and look at this glorious transformation. So now we have finally reached the end of a absolutely fantastic and truly dynamic transformation. Solo Chogokin GX-46 Dygenguar and Aussenseiter is another fantastic release in the Solo Chogokin line. This set is absolutely spectacular and its transformation is simply amazing. This set is definitely very nice, very neat, and very cool. Now as it pertains to the transformation, it was a very long and hard process, but absolutely worth the effort. I highly recommend that everyone picks this set up because it is absolutely fantastic. This has been another review by DiegoDoom. Thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for more figure reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe.